then.
Well, then Nas would.
Didn't
let me down.
You know what I want to know? What does Ja think right now? Ja Rule. Somebody call up Ja.
He's out. Somebody can do it.
What is Ja?
Well, why the hell would we care what Ja Rule thinks about anything?
You don't remember that when 9/11 happened?
I know.
It was like, call Ja. What Ja Rule think?
Actually, I didn't know people gave a shit about his opinion. About anything, actually.
Is he out?
Yeah. He's like
to show you how
halfway
much nobody knew. So
I keep up with the rap blogs. Apparently, Ja Rule still, right? You know, Ja Rule still matters.
You see how immediately, as soon as the camera came on, we went to Ja Rule somehow. We were talking about still Michael Jackson. That's it.
Right. Fucking Nick the Wonder.
Wonder Bread.
Yeah.
So maybe like just go around introductions, you know, and
Scruss Boogie after work, you know, 9 to 5 look, but you know what it is, interlude, you know.
What up, Artemis, aka Alcohol Enthusiast, part of FarXP, Ingleside Collective, Angels Kissing Devils. Right?
what's up? Maverick, MC, producer, Northeast DC, part of the whole Remix Live crew.
What up, Kareem, Reamstar, MC, writer, solo.
Nick the Wonder, aka Ethnic, Beer Gang. Great digging. Keep digging.
Panama Jackson, VerySmartBrothers.com, aka Mr. Light Skin. Your girl wants me.
Billy B Digital, visual effects artist, promotion. Remix Live.
So Remix Live is actually an idea that started with myself and Panama Jackson. We came together and we're trying to think of what's a way to really, you know, keep the producer DJ showcases alive. We had a few of them in the city. The Beatdown, Beat Grinder, a number of other things. Beat Society has come through a few times. So we wanted to keep the showcase alive, but figure out a way to kind of build upon that idea and not just kind of have like a random showcase. So what we were doing is taking a theme for each show and making the show centered around that theme. So the first theme was Motown. So all of the beats and all of the music that was produced for the show was based upon Motown samples in order to give the crowd something familiar that they could relate to, and then also show the skill of sampling and how people can flip these samples and make new original creations out of them. So for this current show, we've got Michael Jackson, Jackson 5, that's the theme of the show. The show's taking place Sunday, July 14th. Doors open at 7, show starts at 8.
Don't let ODB down.
Don't let ODB down.
How do you do that, man?
Yeah, man.
Is there a Michael Jackson song that hasn't been touched yet?
Oh, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure some of those those later albums.
The demos. The demos are out. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
You just let out a secret.
I know you.
Did the Michael talk about the Michael Jackson demos?
Well, the demos, they were not released, but it's him doing takes of like PYT and a whole bunch of original Jones that didn't make the final cut. But the ill thing about him is you can hear like him and his brothers yelling in the background. My man Two-Tone song there. It's crazy. It's almost like the Marvin Gaye ones that they had.
With the Mizell brothers?
No, Marvin Gaye. He had the Just Like Music. They got like the Pella or What's Going On. Yeah, the stems. They got all the pieces from them. So those Michael joints exist, but
God damn.
July 14th.
You got them?
Yeah.
You got some?
You know, a magician never reveals his tricks.
Even though he just talked about the whole thing,
Right.
about, you know, he just
I
went to detail about them, but, you know, keep it gully, you know what I'm saying?
Raps.
Right.
I don't need his estate knocking on my door.
They coming for your money, too.
Like, yo, we cut off the power to the merry-go-round. We're going to need you to not sample these joints.
They just moonwalk in like it's with a subpoena.
Right. You gonna have Jermaine at your door with his slick back sideburns.
Nah, you gonna have Your Majesty. Your Majesty gonna show up.
Tito gonna roll up, man.
Let's get serious.
Now look, Jermaine though, man slept on. Like he had just as much heat.
Oh, Jermaine had heat.
Jermaine had heat. And not to put people on blast, but I am. What was the joint? Sitting on the edge of my mind all the time, which was I think Little Brother. And then Castles of Sand was the Jigga.
Jay-Z.
You know?
Yeah.
See, I told you I can go
Somehow,
from that
some way.
aspect. Yeah, oh my goodness.
Somehow, some way.
Awesome song, yo.
Scarface and Beanie. Yep.
So I mean, you know, a couple joints.
Point is, there ain't much there's a lot that hasn't been touched, but all the great stuff, I feel like all the crate diggers have gone in as much as they could. So hopefully we bring something a little different to the table. All these beat maestros here can.
I mean, at the end of the day, the thing about it is, regardless of however many times a song has been sampled, like somebody can always flip it.
Absolutely.
You know, you could take something that's been looped and re-looped a million times and throw it in the hands of somebody who's a good producer, who's a good sampler, and I mean, they can flip and make it into something completely different, you know, which is actually something that we're going to do in the show.
Right.
You know, all the producers are going to get the same sample and show you how many ways that, you know, it can be flipped, you know, with something that's popular and recognizable to the crowd. So,
Which is the point. I mean, that's part of the point of this whole show. That was the impetus for the whole thing to begin with, to put a bunch of producers that, you know, have a name but might not have been introduced to a particular crowd that we're going to bring in here and have everybody see what they bring to the table, get a bunch of different styles, remix stuff live, bring something to the table. Hopefully everybody walks out here with a new appreciation, new experience. You know, this time it'll be Micheal Jackson bass. Who knows what's going next time, but, you know, we got a bunch of talented people sitting right here who everybody needs to know. Maybe everybody doesn't know. So hopefully we can introduce, you know, allow them to reintroduce themselves.
My name is.
What's the best Micheal Jackson flip to date right now?
My personal opinion, and I was just saying this, I still like that MC Light joint with Escape, man, Liberian Girl. I couldn't even believe, like, I'm saying that's a dope flip of that beat, man. I don't know, man. I would say that's my personal favorite.
Keep on keeping on? Is that?
Yeah, keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on?
Yeah, that was sick.
It ain't hard to tell.
that's
Oh, yeah, yeah, of course.
It's between it ain't hard to tell and probably I heard Kanai flip Thriller. That's the best Thriller flip of all time. Like 3 switches in the joint.
Yeah, tripping.
Kanai, check him out. He's a dope
I mean-
engineer. He worked with Just Blaze, all them cats.
I mean, to be honest, it's not like it was a super flip or anything, like they really changed or anything, but, you know, one of my favorite Micheal Jackson samples is that De La Break of Dawn.
I was gonna say.
Oh, yeah.
Break of Dawn.
It killed it. It killed it.
That's dope. I was gonna go. No one said SWV yet.
Which is
Is that the same as the Liberian?
It's the same record, but I feel like
And Chris Brown's one.
Yeah, I have to say Kanye did a good job with Izzo. I mean, he the way he kind of flipped that whole song, it was done very well. He kind of made it recognizable, but still, you know, gave it some obscurity at the same time.
Ain't nothing touching crisscross jump.
True that.
Ain't nothing touching crisscross
But
jump.
you know, it was kind of corny. Like cats laughed at it. That LL Cool J, "Hey Lover,"
oh yeah.
It
with
was,
the Lady of My
yes.
Life.
Yes.
Michael Jackson.
Yes.
That was a nice little, he actually got credits for that too. If you're looking at LL Cool J. For the LL Cool J with
And
Boyz
Boyz II
II
Men.
Men.
Yeah, that's what's sick.
When I remember, Kanye had a flip of PYT.
Well, that's
With
Good Life.
T-Pain, right?
We like
Yeah,
that.
good life.
Good Life.
That one was quite unrecognizable. You gotta really listen good for that joint.
Very
Heavy.
It's funny though because like producers, man, they've really been like, you know, just through doing beats and things like that, just have that ear of like, you know, even the smallest sample. You'll take like a piano stab or a guitar lick, and it's just one note. A producer will be like, "Man, that's from Micheal Jackson, PYT." You know,
Exactly.
you know.
I'm surprised nobody said Big Pun. You're not a killer.
That's dope. One of the worst I heard was on the
You said one of the worst?
yeah, on the Lord Tariq and Peter Gunn's album. They had one. I think it was "You Want to Be Starting Something." I think that was the name of the song. It was just too generic.
Oh no!
It was just too generic.
Whenever you name the song after the song is named after, you know it's going to be terrible.
Hey, L. Jackson 5 flip was the Most Def "You're the One." You are the one, you're the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is Jackson 5.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Like the 50 Cent Tia told me.
Now look, all these dudes pay. Mike was a big flip, so I don't know what them royalties looking like, you know?
Yeah, I know, right?
And they don't even go to him, or go to the state. Blanket ain't getting them. Blanket, what's the other one?
Does it go to Sony?
Blanket print.
Who owns his publisher?
Hey, don't make me get like Prince with the slave on the jump. Like, I don't know.
He does. And he got the Beatles and Elvis.
Hey,
That's
that
why
was the
he-
smartest.
He owns Elvis?
No,
He has Elvis?
wait. He sold the rights to
that.
Beatles, didn't he?
No,
I thought he sold it
helped.
back
I thought
No, I mean, that's why.
Because he had to
Paul
pay
McCartney
debt on
was
his
pissed when
estate.
he died.
He had to pay debt on the joint.
Dang. Okay.
Now you know what he didn't sell, and I think he did him kind of grinding. I would just put out there, Sly and the Family Stone. He bought all his music too, but I heard Sly didn't get really broken off properly.
He said that.
I heard the opposite. I heard that he bought up a lot of the publishing from all the old blues players who never got credit, and he gave them all back their shit. That's what I heard. I read
We've
that
heard a lot
article.
about Michael Jackson here today.
Right.
Michael's for the people.
Michael either loved everybody or hated everybody. It's pretty much right down the middle.
Humanitarian.
Right.
Real, man.
It was one or the other.
I read that in an article a couple of years ago. So I don't know. I mean, who knows? But Michael Jackson has such an extensive catalog by himself
The
alone.
web is crazy.
Yeah.
And then, you know, with his brothers, just forget about it. It's just like you can just delve into so many different areas and just listen, you know, to how he evolved as an artist. You know, it's just like if you think back to when we were kids, you think about the hysteria of when, you know, this is across all races, you know, ethnic backgrounds, you know, gender, whatever. People went crazy when Michael Jackson hit the stage.
Right.
Like crying, falling out, getting carted off to the ambulance. You know, it's just like, I don't think we've seen that magnitude of hysteria. Even with some of these newer artists who people look up to, you know, at that level where people are just crazy
No.
for
First of all,
art.
nobody's at the level. I don't.
He's a lad. Yeah,
I don't care how many crowds these EDM dudes get jumping around, pumping their fists. Nobody's gonna be like
No, I
mean,
Mike.
one and only.
You gotta look at it too with Mike, man. He can make the most thugged out dude like wanna like moonwalk and like say Shimon, you know what I'm saying? Like do all the moves. Like they can act hard all they want. As soon as Michael Jackson come on, they gonna try to rearrange the gun in their belt
one
and
of
try
the
to do
best.
the dance moves.
Smooth Criminal was a tasteful way to come off on that approach. You know?
That's true. That's true.
now.
That movie.
Moonwalker, the movie. Oh,
This-
Captain EO? We can talk about Mike's movies now.
Okay.
Captain EO was banging too. Good music.
Recently, there's been a lot of Janet Jackson flips.
Yeah, with the Kendrick.
One
and
back in the
the-
day.
Oh, I got
What was the best Janet flip?
Plies, bust it, baby.
With Neo, him and Neo.
That wasn't a flip. That was a straight jack. That wasn't a flip.
It's a current day flip. You know what I'm saying?
I tell you what,
What wasn't Camp Low? Wasn't that a Janet Jackson flip?
for the Cooley High remix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then I don't know if they used it or the original, but it came out shortly after the Janet Jackson song. I feel like they used it. Neptunes when they did "Use Your Heart," and they used that from the
That's the way the love grows.
yeah.
Everybody uses that.
Yeah, you know, so I don't know if they used the Janet or they used the original, but you know, it came out.
Respect to Pharrell, he uses mad similar chords you would find on
He
all
always
Michael Jackson.
interprets.
But that's how
Production.
that's how he always started
Got
producing
vibe.
anyway, because they always said
all
like
that.
they would go after school and they would literally like play out a lot of stuff from old records, and that's why they got the sound like that. Anyway, yeah, Neptune's always.
Now all his hits got a hook, same melody as an old school or 80s or 90s.
Yeah, 'cause
But, contrary to belief, some of his hottest stuff, Mike didn't even write or produce.
Right. In fact, the first, what is it?
Like, I mean, like his hot stuff.
They didn't sing an original record until like 1973.
Yeah.
Until they left Motown.
Until they left.
Right. That's the writing machine. Motown was the writing machine.
Until they left Motown, they went to Philadelphia International and Gamble and
Gamble and
Huff.
Huff,
Well,
that
they didn't go to
ABC?
Philadelphia. They went to Columbia, but
Yeah,
Gamble and
they
Huff
wrote for
was
him,
writing.
so, yeah.
Was writing for him. So
Matter of fact, shout outs to Slim Cat. He gave me Jackie Jackson's album. And if you look on the back, it says produced by the corporation. So that's who was handling like all the production back then as far as before they branched out, like I
But to
said.
be honest with you, I like their stuff when they left Motown better. Like I like the music on it.
When was Can You Feel It? That was
That-
after, right?
that was
That's
after.
80s. That's
Yeah.
CBS Records, right?
That's
CBS.
Right.
That joint was nice.
Dude, I mean, like
I mean, it got more mature. It got more evolved. It got
Yeah.
more expansive. It
That
had
beat is crazy.
That's the sound.
Like that's my favorite stuff is when they were the Jacksons.
Right.
You know, not the
Yeah.
Jacksons.
Look.
When
They got the sand coming through
Matrix
fingers.
video ever. They threw out the Stardust. or
Yeah, that's what I was
whatever
calling
it
it.
was called,
That Sherman Hemsley.
Crazy.
It was on that shirt.
It was like, here you go, bro.
Let me ask these guys on the couch a question. What's your favorite Michael Jackson song?
Woo.
That's tough.
That is tough.
That's really tough.
One of my favorites is Remember the Time. I love that song.
I
With
remember
Far Side cameo in it.
Yo, I got like
The Far Side
What?
of the background dancers in the video.
Oh,
Really?
In the
Jordan,
Egyptian
we talked
scene
about
like
that,
this,
yeah.
look behind Michael. It's 3 dudes. It's Slim Kid, Trey, not Fat Lip, Boogie Brown, and who's the third?
Are you
Booty
sure?
Brown, the Booty
I'm
Brown.
100% positive. Go watch the video again. The Far Side, because they started off as dancers.
Yeah, there was always.
But they're in Michael Jackson's
You're
Remember.
more of a nerd than I thought you
I
were.
mean, it makes sense.
Music.
I can see that.
The big thing I remember about that is when the world premiere of the video. The video, it was huge. I remember everybody got together and we waited. Like you said, seriously. I'm not. Oh,
Popcorn.
I think so.
Yeah.
That and like Black and White was another video that when that
Yeah.
first
But that Thriller, there was just this certain one.
Every band was a video like this.
Man, so was Jam. Jam was just like that. Jam had the whole rollout.
with the Space Jam movie with Michael. Is that the one with Michael Jordan?
Nah, Jam had that.
Yes.
It was in Space Jam. It was in Space Jam. So.
They made a big deal about Scream with Janet, but that didn't pop off.
I love that video.
At all.
because it was the most
That
successful
song,
video
right,
at the time.
It was.
So I think my favorite MJ song gotta be Off the Wall. I can listen to that song over and over and
That's
over
a great
again.
one.
It's just that bass line is so crazy to me. Like everything about it is perfect.
I like the album cuts that nobody don't really know about. Like I love this unreleased joint called Buttercup, produced by Stevie Wonder. Crazy. Stevie Wonder and the Jacksons together, like dead combo. But it's so many of them. I mean,
I knew he would go there. I knew if anybody's gonna go obscure, dope but obscure, it would be this man. Like,
Nobody has an opinion. Everyone's like, yeah, that was hot.
I recently heard that joint.
And I didn't think the name was gonna be so soft either. I think like, yo,
yo,
this
it's a
joint's
hot
It's
song.
called.
Check it out. Stevie killed it.
I'm sure he did. Cause they used to drive Stevie crazy.
I mean, my favorite one is I Can't Help It. I love that song.
He's
Which
a
is why
Yeah.
I love that. Which is why I mentioned the daylight breaking on. Like I love I Can't Help It, and I mean I've heard other people remake that song, and that's one of the songs I feel like you can't mess up. You know, like
I agree.
That
I don't
bass
know.
line is just so lush.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know
everything
if
on that
people
song.
remember like in the '90s the chick she was on Loud Records, Davina.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
She was Lauryn Hill before Lauryn Hill
Dude,
came out.
and she remade I Can't Help It on her
And she
album.
redid Come On Over to My Place.
She's got I Can't Help
her
It on
album
there too,
was
and I got the album. That's what I know.
Yeah, I remember that.
With Raekwon on the remix.
But I mean, her album was good. Her album was good. Like you gotta check.
Yeah.
But, you know, like
Yeah.
I Can't Help It is that song for me. So
Shoot, man.
It's so
It's so many, man.
we ain't even naming Jackson joints. Like
You know what? Okay, I'll say one of my favorites. It's more one of the recent ones. It had to be Butterfly.
oh yeah, that's a good one.
It was so up to date. and it was
Floetry wrote that, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Floetry wrote it, but just the way they like hooked that song up with the drums, the melody, the bass. You're just like, yo, this is a different Michael now. Like for real, it was just like hard hitting with like an update like sound for it. I liked it. So
What
that's
album was
one of
that
my
on? Was that on Blood on the Dance
Invincible.
Floor? Oh, Invincible. What was on Blood on the Dance Floor?
I don't know.
Blood
I
on
don't
the
know.
Dance Floor. It was like that was like a little remix album, right? It was like an EP. It was an EP remix album.
I'll admit, I've never bought
It
it.
had a bunch of remixes on it. I have it. I actually do have that. I have that little
I
maxi
almost
single.
got. I was like, oh.
I got Invincible.
I hope y'all get into Invincible. I hope y'all, you know what I'm saying?
Hey. I mean, anything in that.
What's the other one? The joint I like off that is Heaven Can Wait, man. That's another one.
Yeah, that was a good song.
Jesus.
History
Those
was
Earth
a
song,
good
that
album.
joint was crazy. That little. I'm surprised nobody sampled that. That whole little.
History, right?
I was looking at it too. I just, it's just hard to.
Who was the best producer outside of Quincy Jones to work with Mike?
Oh, that's. Oh, never mind.
I'm gonna have to
That's
say,
so
I'm gonna
easy.
say Darkchild.
Nah, Rod Temperton.
I was about to say that.
Okay. My bad.
Aside from Michael Jackson, everything Heatwave
Heatwave,
is
everything,
fire,
yeah.
okay? People don't know Rod Temperton is responsible for Thriller. Y'all said the joint earlier, I Want to Rock With You,
Yeah.
Off the Wall.
Most of the big ones, Rod Temperton's hand was involved in them joints.
So Rod Temperton, big up UK, big up England.
I appreciate that.
Hey, yo, he's the best dude. They were like a
Yeah, they were the tandem. Kim Quincy, it was crazy.
What?
It was beautiful.
trifecta.
But I mean, Stevie worked well with Mike too, man. Like Mike sang background on All I Do. Stevie went All I Do.
Sure did.
You know, and it's funny, like that's the type of stuff. Like you'll find so many people who are like stars in their own right, but they are background on a lot of other people's stuff. Mike is one. Luther Vandross is another. You know, if you go through your record collection and you see how many records these guys sang background on, amazing.
Now now when the Jackson 5 came out, there were a bunch of labels trying to put out groups just like the Jackson 5.
Yo,
You know where that's going already.
Can I be honest though? And this may be blasphemous. I know we're doing an MJ.
I agree with you.
Silvers were better?
They are. Silvers are better. Dude, that Silvers 1 and 3 albums
And the
are
thing is,
insane.
they had
One album, the first album, and the third album, like they like them joints like Led Zeppelin joints,
And I
like
don't
1, 2, 3, 4.
I don't think
But
they were copycats though, because you gotta realize the Silvers
The
grew
Harmonies
up
were
with
better.
that same
Yeah.
mentality that the Jacksons did. Like we're a family, or we're just working together. This is what we do every
Right.
day. Like, so
their harmonies was insane. Like that was.
The Silvers just have better samples too, man. Like
what you say? Show number 3.
the Silvers got
Remix the Silvers. Hey, July 14th.
Number 3 definitely got me.
Yeah.
But who else was like the Jacksons? I know.
What was it, the Barge dude? The Barge dudes. No, before the Barge, it was so like,
Osmonds? No, not
no,
Tavares.
no, the Tavares, them old ass motherfuckers.
You said Tavares.
Wasn't it?
Hey, I like their greatest hits. I
know,
got
that's
Tavares' greatest hits. That's very
When the Barge was kids, weren't they in a group?
Jets? No,
They were in
I
the
totally made that
Bars.
up.
The bars, they were.
Oh,
it was the
okay.
bars,
Okay.
yeah.
Fuck it then. So those, I know it was more kids group.
Oh, there's more, but I think the Silvers did it the best. I mean,
there's like the Five Stair Steps was a kid group, wasn't it?
Were they?
Yes.
Five Stair
Yes.
Steps.
Kid, I didn't know they were kids. I thought they were grown. Because they had some heavy ass voices.
No, but when they first they came out as kids.
Yeah,
Did they?
Kenny Burke was part of them, and he left the Five Stair Steps to do solo.
I need to step on
Yeah,
it.
see,
Dig up the
I
water,
didn't really know
That's why we're here.
It's like I have some
They
records
did,
too.
right.
I just be like,
They
dang, I
did.
didn't know that. I didn't
See
know
when
that.
I get
So, yo,
I mean, it was samples.
Switch.
Switch. But they were much older
They
too.
were older.
They were older, yeah.
Well, they were compared to Jackson 5.
Nah, man, they had Jerry.
Jackson 5 when they were older.
Right.
I mean, they were older.
So we're talking about samples and songs and things like that. When you when you go in the store and you get a record, and let's say it's something that you don't immediately know.
Is she naked?
What is what's
This nigga got all Ohio player records.
or after it? Hold on.
This nigga got Funky Worm on it.
So I'm gonna finish the question, but Russ will answer the question. If you don't immediately recognize the record, what is it that you look for? What makes you gravitate?
The artwork.
I will tell
For
you
me-
this. Yeah, it's artwork, but if the joint is in like a different language too, like I'll usually look for that. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
buddy.
I will look for something that's like a Russian like jazz record or some like psych
play
rock.
all the way over here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I'm like, you putting this out for how much? $1? Oh,
To combine both of their answers, you need a cover with a woman on it, or anybody got an ill cover period. Because remember, there was no Photoshop back then, so them covers was real original. And then he said foreign got the best covers. So find somebody doing a Michael Jackson cover, but it's in a different language or whatever. Like those are the
Here's
best
a big
takes.
one. Here's a big one. On the cover, the dude sitting in a chair. It is a wooden wicker chair.
Well, I agree, man.
Dude sitting in the chair. Wiz tried to do this about last year with
Yeah, with the H&M.
But if they're sitting in the chair, there may be a throw rug on the floor or something like that.
It's got a
velvet
painting on the
velvet
back.
something. It's got to be plush, velveteen.
Then what was it? Dexter Wansel?
Like Lamar.
Look for that wicker chair. You might find something on there.
I look for the dude with the plaid suit on.
With the afro. Yeah,
The
the afro has to be like a certain.
It's got to be an off afro. It can't be perfect.
Like it's like it's slanted. It's like it's the pre-Gumby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you,
On the
I
car,
look for who produced the record. Yeah, of
course. Me too.
You know, because that's going to tell you
Line
a
of
lot
notes.
about the sound of the album. You know, so like, you know, we were talking earlier about when the Jacksons made that move to Columbia, you know, and Gamble and Huff were producing them. You know, that gives you a huge heads up of like what type of music you're about to get. And then I look at the session players, you know, so there's like there's like certain names that just pop out on everything to you, you know, especially if you know Motown stuff, you know who the session players are. But if you're dealing with the Philadelphia international stuff, you know who those session players are too.
MFSB.
I don't.
MFSB,
I don't.
Vincent Montana, you know, that type of stuff.
Yeah, but I look at the back, I see a name, and the motherfucker just be called Larry to me. I don't know who the fuck it is.
So wait, they go to watch Gadget. Like, Gadget? Who's Gadget?
He's gonna give himself a selfie shot like I'm Gadget, bitch.
Hey, and I'm Larry, baby.
Also the years.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I usually don't like anything past the mid
Nothing
to late
past
80s.
83. Nothing past 83.
Oh, that's the golden number right there for me.
I'm gonna
I say
disagree.
the
I'm
I'm gonna disagree with that
gonna
too.
disagree with that because I tell you, I actually like Motown R&B in the 80s. Like if you look at some of those little groups that came out, Ozone, Love Smith,
Don't get it twisted.
stuff like
I
that.
have those joints, but as far as finding something quick, not before 83. Though.
Actually, you know what?
I mean, nothing after 83.
Anything with a drum
Nothing
machine,
after
I'm like,
83.
yeah,
Well,
I can do that.
Yes.
No, one thing that caught me off guard, I want to say once or twice, I found like these weird, like kind of, I don't want to say like acoustic rock kind of albums where it's just like, it sounds like something that's older though. You know, it sounds like very confined, the drums are there, and it's kind of a shock. Like me, I used to stay away from joints like past like at least 79 around, like I go up to 79 or 80 and that's it. I might like take anything else, but I started finding a couple of those joints like throughout the 80s and 90s. I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh, it's a hit.
didn't
Like
know.
Russ said, they there, but
They're there, but they're singles. They're not the whole album. Like,
No, I found a whole album.
Whole album?
I know what you're talking about though.
It's rare.
It's rare. It's very rare.
Motherfucker, you bought the Spandau Ballet album. That's what
That's what I'm sharing with you.
Spandau Ballet had one song.
That's what I bought.
true.
That's the class act record.
And that's your boy who got, what's the name of the dude who got thrown off the stage?
Blake Brown.
KRS threw him off the stage?
The dude from
PM Dawn, yeah.
Who doesn't matter? He got thrown off the stage. But
I was wondering how he
Prince something.
How did he manage to do that though? PM Dawn's a big dude.
He pushed him.
He pushed him. Okay, throw him, push him too.
And he never put out a record after that.
He did not.
Yeah,
Didn't have to. We still listening to the same one.
KRS is a big dude too, though.
He about 6'4".
Like I went to KRS's concert, and that was that's one of the best concerts I've ever been to, man.
Yeah,
Like
he goes down.
KRS
He's
comes
still,
out,
yeah.
and at a certain point in the show, he tells everybody to take their cell phone out, and he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna leave a personalized freestyle voice message for you." You'd be like, "What?" Dude, 100 cell phones go to KRS, and he's rapping a voicemail to you personalized.
And that's an idea. We'll be here July 14th. Live. Doors open at 7.
Though nobody
Panama
up here
will
is
be
rapping.
Bring your
Right,
cell
right.
phone.
You don't want a personalized Panama Jackson message. Right. I'll be like that dude from the Whisper Call. Montgomery.
So
No,
fellas,
leave a Pootie Tang email. Voicemail.
fellas, we've been talking a lot about the Michael Jackson
Oh,
stuff,
yeah.
but let's talk in general about production. You know, when do you start with?
Secrets.
I mean, not
joking.
being specific, but what do you start with?
Start with my crate. I start with whatever I've been listening to for the past week because it ain't been longer than a week since I made a beat. But yeah, just start with a record. It all starts with a record for real, and you just listen for something that makes you stop what you're doing. And then I find the meanest drums ever in my arsenal,
Said the meanest.
and I put it together. And that's all I'm giving y'all until the 14th, and you can check it out for yourself.
14.
Yeah, no, right.
Live.
It's a-
Remixing live.
For me, it just depends on my mood, man. Cause I'll go with the drums first sometimes. I'll just be like, man, I'll get some new drums and be like, man, I just want to bang these joints out, see how they sound. Okay, what kind of lace with it? Or like a melody, if I dig for something and I find the melodies just right the way I want it, I'll just like go from there. It's either the melody or the drums, or sometimes it's just like an idea. I'll even be real, sometimes it's not even a record that I'm trying to sample. I'm trying to find something crazy that nobody's probably tried before. So
Convey that feeling,
yeah.
and
You don't know how it might come together.
Yeah,
sometimes.
that's usually how I start. Like, it might be somebody walking, falling down some steps. I'm like, oh, let me sample that. Instead of helping them up, yeah, let me make a beat. I'll help you out in a minute.
Do that again. I need to get that sound on my phone.
Like, boom.
Your neck breaking.
I mean, as for me, you know, I'm not one of the people that starts with the drums. I start with the sample first, like every time, and I'm just chopping the sample, and I play around with that a lot. You know, I'm chopping it, and I just kind of like resequence it, reorder it, trying to sound, you know, figure out what in terms of like the chords sound good, what order, and you know, I might put like a basic drum pattern together to just make sure it's on beat. But I start with the sample first and just kind of build around that.
Nick?
Oh, as an MC, what do you look for in the beat?
See? Great question. Well, as an MC, you normally rhyme to the beat. For me personally, I like bottom-heavy tracks. Like, you know, things that, you know, I come from an era where the boom bap was the track to have. So
Real boom bap.
yeah, like, you know, it's just like the bass kick, everything. I mean, and I would say guitar-driven bass lines or horn-driven bass, or horns. I mean, if it has a horn in it or guitar-driven bass line, I love it. Like, I can go in on a track like that. But definitely, I lean more toward tracks that have a heavier syncopation, you know, in terms of beats. Yeah, it definitely has to have one.
No doubt.
Yeah, I got a weird process because I like to get a whole folder of drum patterns and then have a whole folder of sample chops and other things like stabs and all that. And I feel like you make tracks better with fresh ears.
Right.
So sometimes I'll whip all them up in separate folders and come back and see how I can interchange stuff instead of sitting there racking myself like, yo, this drum's not hot. Let me go back over this again. Yo, that chop was all right. I can't do that. It is just frustrating too much. So.
No, you just throw everything in the basket and throw it on the table.
So like I said, I got a whole rack of drum patterns I made with no samples on them. So if I hear that record, I'm like, perfect, that fits this. If I hear some sample chops, yet I hear an ill Japanese drum break, that goes with this. And then, you know, I noticed Kanye's doing a lot now, or Kanye, if you produced it. He used a lot of vocal stabs, like, what was it in the Yeezus? That.
The
Which
last
is
song.
the Mountain joint,
Last song.
Mountain Long Red. Yeah. But he also used the honey, the Peggy country joint.
Yeah.
So, but that's something that's been in hip hop for years, so it's not like he invented that.
Me.
It doesn't matter. I mean, you know, I produce, but I'm not one of the producers up here. I stopped sampling a while ago because everybody's much better at that. So I tend to start when I make my beats. I always have like a piano like riff in my head, so I kind of start from there, and I always build on top of that. Because I'm doing everything in like Logic, I play around with the sound. So I start with a piano riff, and then I just change it up all together, distort everything, find some nasty drums, and then try to distort them to high hell, you know, and see where it goes from there. Probably less hip hop than anything else, but nobody's listening to it beside me anyways. Who cares?
That's where it starts.
First thing I do when I wake up, brush my teeth, maybe take a shower depending on the last time I did.
How do you chop your video?
How do I chop a video? Yeah, I do video. So I like to have the audio actually. So I think, you know, if we're doing a video that has music in particular, so a music video, which is not necessarily always what it is, but if it's a music video, then you gotta have the music obviously, and you wanna cut it up in such a way that, you know, sort of complements what's being said and hits on the beat sometimes, and if it's something, you know, grungy and different, sort of alternative, then it doesn't necessarily have to hit on the beat, and so it's really an interesting process. But, you know, I do sort of visual effects stuff, so I really do like to have some kind of sort of the background noises or the beat. Again, if it's not music, then it's just some background noises that I can sort of try to complement with swooshes and other things. So.
All right, I got a question. If Mike was around in the 90s and the record label told him you had to pick, you know, DJ Premier or Large Professor or somebody of that caliber, who do you think would be the best producer from the 90s to work with Mike?
Initially, I'm gonna just say Pete Rock, because Pete Rock was the king of remixes in the 90s. Like, he did the Shut 'Em Down remix, he did a whole bunch of remixes, and people producers after him, the Dillas and all that, they gravitated to Pete Rock. So I feel like Pete Rock would have been a good fit.
You know, I was
If we talking hip hop, you said
Yes,
hip hop,
hip
right?
hop, yes.
You know what? I was actually going to say like Dilla or the Uma. You know what I mean? Like right when Dilla was coming up, because Beats Rhymes' life was like production-wise so slept on to me, in my personal opinion. And I
Janet
think-
Jackson joint.
Yeah, he did. That's the best part of it too. He did the Janet Jackson joint. So I would think like either Uma or Dilla would have been a good fit.
Took mine.
Dilla? Uma?
Took mine.
I think Large Pro would have been a good person. I mean, because you know, Large Pro, especially starting off in the early '90s, like all of his beats, you know, a lot of the
Main
beats
source,
had that
yeah.
break beat, you know, feel to him. And you know, like he came out with Looking at the Front Door right before Lisa and Cold Jam came out with the Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em, you know. And so you know, you can kind of see how his beats, you know, can be translated into R&B. You know, so I think you know, Large Pro would have been a good person for Michael Jackson.
When you say 90s, what you talking about? Like what?
Because I was about
Producer.
to say, I'm thinking,
Like hip hop producer.
Because it's been like Jermaine
I'm
Dupri.
thinking Hitman. I'm thinking Jermaine Dupri, Hitman,
right.
Stevie J.
Well, that was later
cats.
than
I mean, it was later, but it was in the 90s. I mean, them dudes.
Yeah,
It was very polished, but you know, there was a lot of, it was a lot of.
Dungeon Family, you know, like
I think it was a little too dirty. Yeah.
Trackmaster. But they did do a Michael Jackson joint.
Trackmasters.
Doom, doom, doom.
And so I
They
was
did the remix for what's the joint Jay-Z's on?
My Life.
Yeah.
See, I was trying to stay away from
With
people
Jay.
that he actually
Yes,
worked with.
yes.
So that's why I didn't mention Teddy Riley. You know, I didn't mention Trackmasters because
No, said hip hop.
No DJ Premier. It might.
Primo. I don't think Primo would have
Not enough diversity in Primo tracks for Michael to really, because Michael's got it.
But I mean, Primo did do the Christina
That's what I was
Aguilera
gonna
stuff.
say.
Right.
Not saying that he can't do it, but when you think of a Primo track, you think that's the illest loop ever, and that loop's never going off.
Yo,
3-4 minutes is not going off.
can you see Mike singing over a Buck Wild track?
Yeah, he did a lot of Faith Evans.
No.
Yeah.
He used
Oh, but the Faith Evans song was originally an OC song,
It
and
was.
I love you. Is that
that was originally
That's
OC.
what I'm saying.
OC thought it was too soft.
But Buck Wild does that. That's what I'm saying. You
Yeah.
can go there with it.
Yeah, he's always had like smooth joints. I don't know, man. Buck Wild, as a producer, he could go from like having the most hardcore stuff to something that's very smooth.
What's the
He
shit?
would
What's the shit he did for Game? The King or
Yeah, I know you're talking.
like
about.
Father, like
Like
Son.
Father, like
no.
Son, yeah.
It's called The King. He was talking about Martin Luther King.
Oh, him and Nas.
Yes.
Letter to the King.
Letter to the King. Oh
Man,
my
you know
God.
something,
That's what I'm
and even
saying,
though
like, he has
people
joints like that.
probably won't say this, you know, and probably don't consider him so much of a 90s producer, but he did come out in the 90s. I think certain stuff the Alchemist has done will go well.
So you taking it a whole up with Mike?
But Mike,
I say somebody like
Really?
Tech over Alchemist.
I can see
High
high. I
Tech,
can see
yes.
High Tech.
I can see how
I can't see Alchemist.
I think
Alchemist was too gritty. Alchemist was too gritty.
I can see Alchemist. He was rolling
Nigga.
stuff. He's
How you go from Mobb Deep to Mike?
no. Alchemist is a chameleon of a producer.
he
though.
is. That's exactly like Alchemist. His style, like you can't box Alchemist in. He's got a beat for everybody. You know, he's like one of those dudes who, like, no matter who the person is, he's got a beat for you. So I think Alchemist could do some stuff.
I think he could pull a record and go that way because he's versatile. Like his record knowledge is real crazy.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
But for me, I would want to hear Mike over somebody who plays live.
I'm trying to think of it over somebody who just loops. I think Mike would just sound.
Master.
Over just loops?
Yeah.
Q-Tip. I think he sound great over Q-Tip
Mathematics.
because every
Q-Tip.
Q-Tip joint that he sang
Mathematics,
with Mike
why
was
RZA.
Oh, yeah,
But I mean, the funny
RZA.
thing about it,
Mike would sound great over RZA.
but
do it.
yo, we're talking about all of these people. Why are we not mentioning the Roots?
Me, Questlove.
Like, I mean,
He said the Umo.
I mean,
technically.
I mean, the Roots had like Cat Kilo and you know all of these dudes that were producing for them, and they had that early sound that "Do You Want More," the Illadelph Half-Life, and it's
That's
a
what
live, organic type sound, you know.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Scott Storch.
I wouldn't refute a record like that.
I don't know about Scott Storch.
Hey,
But
no
but
ID.
you know he used to play.
No ID. Yes.
You don't know about current
Yes.
sounds, you know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He used to play keys with the Roots.
Scott Storch is current now.
Or
For the Q-Tip joint.
Yeah.
okay.
The move.
I was gonna say Q-Tip because
Every joint. Every joint.
I was thinking
Q-Tip
Q-Tip
flip.
too, because you know, I feel like Tiz that whole the way like Q-Tip produced shit. I feel like Mike could fit in there. Like I'm thinking the whole Midnight Marauders here. Like that shit just
Q-Tip.
like it just like just. I mean, but I'm biased because that's like one of my beat wise one of my favorite albums. Period. Like I would go buy that over and over again if I lost
So
it.
Midnight Marauders is my favorite Tribe album.
Yeah, I mean, and I feel like I feel like that Q-Tip in that era would just like
my Midnight Rise.
It's just the
it
thing.
was
It
lost.
was
It was so the drums hit so hard, but it was you could put singers on those tracks.
The records he
Yeah, like it would, you know, you could put people on it like that.
Absolutely.
That Minnie Riperton joint, Michael Jackson could have sat in that joint singing on that. So
let me ask this question: what's a singer that Mike didn't work with that would have been a good compliment for him? Like singing on a record, a duet or something like that.
With Mike?
With Mike.
Hey, he never did a song with Whitney, right?
Nah.
But do you think that would
But Jermaine did.
Mariah, Whitney's voice too strong.
Jermaine
you
did.
think Mike
she's
is
a valid there. Right.
You think Mike and Whitney would have
Yeah, of course. And they were, they were cool.
I think Whitney's voice too strong.
I think Whitney
Her
was
voice
way.
strong.
By the time Whitney came along, I think her sound was too different.
What about Mike and Mariah Carey?
That's what I was thinking of, because you know she could because her voice is so versatile. She could stay in his.
She
She
floats.
could make sure that she didn't get outside of his pocket, his range. Like she could be there and be just fine. You know, perfect compliment.
Did Mike ever do anything with Gladys Knight?
maybe younger.
Yeah, maybe on some Jackson's tip, but I'm not sure.
I don't think
Did he
so.
ever do something with Shaka Khan?
Can I take a leap and say,
Yeah, that's what I said.
look, anybody,
Yeah,
look at the Paul McCartney joints he did.
He
like-
did the Paul McCartney.
Yeah, exactly. He did the
So you're talking
song.
about somebody who
I
hasn't
think
done
I know, but I'm just
Faith
saying,
Where's he going?
he sounds. So Paul McCartney is a very different sort of octave and tempo and a totally.
Oh, yeah,
and they flow.
Michael Jackson did sing with Whitney Houston. When he on that, That's What Friends Are For, or We Are the World? Oh, same thing. Same family.
Somebody had a parody of that song, man.
6 Degrees of Separation.
Damn, what was that show that had a parody of We Are the
I was
World?
gonna say R. Kelly, but Michael R. Kelly.
What's funny is, I was actually about to say R. Kelly, man.
I can see that one.
Yo.
They didn't sing together.
What was the joint for Martin Luther Sing, Sing, Celebrate? That was way better than We Are the World. The Martin Luther King joint?
Yeah, that was. That We Are.
Raise
Wait,
your
wait.
hand for Martin Luther King.
With the dude from Kool and the Gang coming in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had a video for
I
that.
mean,
Yeah.
and I'm partial, but I think Luther can sing with anybody, I think.
That dude is incredible. Why did Tevin Campbell just pop in my head? Sounds like.
I don't know, but there's a pause somewhere. Lil Tevin.
If both of them like go back in time,
And see, that was really good because
that's what I'm saying.
Quincy with both of them, Quincy with Tevin and Mike on the song,
Yeah.
that would have been a
Who
killer.
would one
So James Ingram's ass on there for good measure, and next thing you know, you just
Oh, the dude from LTD. Johnny Osborne. Johnny Osborne. Johnny Osborne lived down the street, nigga.
No, just get Al Jarreau for the scats and get Michael Jackson and Jeffrey Osborne singing back, and you get Al Jarreau just
And leave Bob Dylan off any record with Mike. Or leave Bob Dylan off with any record,
You know,
period.
people forgot Mike had his
He's
own
all about
imprint,
Dylan, man.
his own artist, Brownstone.
Which
Yeah.
Who's
I
trying to
like
make a
Brownstone.
comeback. They trying to make a comeback.
I did like that.
One of the girls from Brownstone is on the R&B Divas.
That's what I'm talking about.
I did like Brownstone.
So that was Mike's group, like.
Was it Brownstone that was on there? Or was
Yeah,
it
it's
Logan
Brownstone.
stuff?
It's Brownstone. It's Brownstone.
If you love me.
Yeah.
That joint.
Grapevine. That Grapevine joint. That was some beautiful music.
Grapevines.
So maybe they can hold it down with Mike, but I
It's
guess
just a tough flip.
That's a hard joint.
Flowetry.
I mean,
Well, they
yeah.
work together though.
Yeah, they did.
Butterflies.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because they're actually singing on the track too, I believe, right? Like,
Yeah.
Well, they had their own version.
They did have
They had their own version on your
Yeah, that's really good.
Raphael Sadiq.
Yes.
That's a good
He
one.
dropped the ball. Yes.
Yeah, okay, that's
That would work. Yes.
And I redeemed myself on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can y'all imagine the Soul Queries putting together a Michael Jackson album?
Oh.
I don't know. It either go really well or really bad. Like, I feel like there's no middle ground there.
No. He was in
Erica?
No. He was in Lucy Pearl with
Erica.
Yeah, that's what it was.
What about what's the dude? He was on Arista. I forgot his damn name. Darnell Jones. Darnell Jones.
He was good when he first started out.
He got some joints.
He couldn't what?
He has some joints.
Definitely got some
It's a
joints.
mic?
I'm talking to do a duet. I mean, how many people was?
Catalog, no question.
Avant, maybe.
Nah.
Get
Nah.
that on camera.
If we go with that right, you might as well throw Tank with it. Tank with it.
That's how she can say.
Yo, stop.
Avant these are some chicks. That's his main.
Yeah,
he has his verse. He responds.
the type of songs that he does.
Right, the way they're written.
Oh, what about Patrice Rusher?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh no, here you go. Christopher Cross.
Stop.
With Michael Jackson.
Well, shit, let's throw Peter Gabriel in there. I mean, Peter Gabriel could have murdered some shit.
Oh yeah, Peter.
Hey.
Michael Jackson.
Man.
George Michael.
That would have been. That would work.
No. All right.
I'll throw this one out there. Anthony Hamilton.
No.
No.
He's
Okay.
too soft.
I'm still throwing it out there.
Yo, his beard looks like a light. It's different. He said his beard look like Hawaii.
Okay. How about this one? Erykah Badu.
That's what I said. I said that a minute ago.
I can't see it. I can't see it.
I can see that happening. That's so like, cause Erykah Badu has her own like entity now.
But Erykah after, what was her second album? Mama's Gun. Mama's Gun Erykah. Because the first one, she was like getting introduced to everybody doing this.
I can't even see Mike fit into Mama's Gonna Erica though. Like, here's the current art, Janelle Monáe. Like, they seem like they write the same vein. Like,
Them two
I feel
together.
like that would have been.
That would be sick.
Like I picture
Monáe's
like
my
hearing
wife.
his ad-libs in the background.
So I said
Nah, I can't.
Actually, I would say, I don't know if this would work, but Little Dragon, like some of their stuff, like they're just.
Who's Michael Jackson was his biggest influence.
Right. And James Brown was the
To
influence
say
on all the hip hop.
And Michael Jackson influenced the hip hop generation, which is why we're paying homage by remixing
Right.
live
Okay.
at Live live.
Everything comes full circle.
Brilliant.
What a mind.
Just gotta reload that.
Yes, I ain't gonna say this. I was
You can't say it. Why not say it? You got the idea.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Just said it once, say it again.
Okay, it's funny because Michael Jackson, he listed James Brown as his biggest idol. They had a Grammy.
Influence, right?
And I think
When he came out
that's what they
before-
performed for their audition for Motown.
They did. So with the influence of James Brown on Michael Jackson, I feel like our generation in particular, even younger generations, really respect Michael as an artist and the music as an individual. And without him, we wouldn't have, we mentioned all these songs that Michael sampled. So with that said, you need to come to Remix Live, where we'll be paying homage to Michael himself by flipping the songs live with 4 brilliant producers, and we got some awesome videography and hosts as well. So we're giving you the live package, all the Michael joints that you love, and come to, or you may have not heard it. Like I said, I may play Buttercup. You want to act like they don't know the song, I may play it. But with that said, we'll all be here on Sunday, July 14th at 7 p.m. Live. That's 11th and U.
Yep. Good stuff.
And you being there.
And I mean, the thing about it is too, and just kind of recapping on it, the remixing. The good thing about it is you can always take these old songs and make them more relevant, to whatever the current generation is by just, changing up the music to them. So, Mike, that was my generation growing up. When I was a kid, I was watching Billie Jean and all of these videos on MTV. But some of these younger kids, they haven't, experienced that, and the music is a little bit different than when Mike came out, but we can still take that and update it and make it relevant to that sound now through the art of remixing, through the art of sampling, so Remix Live, Sunday, July 14th, 7 p.m. Be here.
Yo, Remix Live, Michael Jackson edition, Jackson 5 edition. Mike's always been a good influence as far as like music for me, and just being able to like listen to his music now that I'm older and I'm producing more, it's like I'm picking out things as a producer and I want to like chop them up and I just want to do certain things that I probably wouldn't have never thought to do just as an artist, not just being a fan now. It's like being an artist and a fan. What I'm looking forward to with this show is just showing improving, because I've been known to be an MC for years, like battling, kicking people's heads off, rolling the crowd, doing things.
I seen him.
Yeah, he saw me. Caught a bullet in my teeth and start rapping about it. Anyways, bars. But yeah, man, July 14th, man, 7 p.m. Micheal Jackson edition, Jackson 5 edition. Wear your glove, you might get a discount.
No glove, no love.
There you go. Yeah. I should have said that. Damn, man. No glove, no love. I should have said
On that note,
Wow. Hey, you gotta look in the eyes, not the noses.
Wow.
Here come the logos. Anyway,
no shot.
None of that.
as we spoke of before, you know, Michael Jackson's influence is universal. Very rarely I run across anybody who said they don't like Michael Jackson's music, or the Jackson 5 for that matter. So just make sure that you show up on the 14th here at Live, 7 p.m. We're going to get it in. Y'all going to be able to dance, have a good time. You know, we're going to make this a party. It ain't going to just be, you know, just the production. It's going to be an event. Panama's going to make sure it's an event.
That's a lot. That's some big shoes to fill. But yeah, you know, and because, you know, we also gonna have two DJs, DJ Two Tone Jones, DJ Orbit 122. You know, holding down. You know,
what's up with the light skinned DJs, man?
you know, I'm trying to bring it back.
What the fuck is wrong with the light skinned DJs?
Hey, we trying to cover all aspects of Mike. When he was dark,
all aspects of Mike. Okay.
Right, it's the entire evolution of Michael Jackson being represented here.
Everybody on the couch right now. You know what I'm saying? He was everybody's color here.
It don't matter if it's black and white.
Exactly.
If nobody said it, rest in peace.
Exactly.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Can I say also, as somebody who does the video stuff, you know, one thing that everybody talked about, his music, which is obviously the core and the crux of who Michael is, but, you know, Mike and Thriller and those things, that ushered in the wave of like of music videos as an art form. Like before that, it was kind of like, am I right? It was like an obscure kind of thing that happened sometimes, and it was an expense, and it wasn't really dealt with on a serious level.
It looked like it was done in Photoshop.
A lot of fall.
So he went.
I mean, people underestimate how much of a pioneer Mike was everything.
No one had it.
You know, so if you look at like just people in terms of the dancing in videos, you know, before that, who had all this choreography in videos?
Yo, show him what you got. Do something,
I'm good. I'm holding it to the show.
Okay.
Holding it to the show. You know, but the choreography, you know, like before Mike, who was there with the choreography in the videos? You know, when Mike came with these videos, Billie Jean, the squares are lighting up on, you know, all of his videos are stories, you know, and just really movie.
And shout out to all the choreographers that work with him.
Yeah, you know, all of this stuff is stuff that Mike is the pioneer on. From, you know, the danceable music, the pop music, the videos, you know, the choreography, all of this stuff. So it's, you know, Mike's impact lives on even till today, and hopefully, you know, we can pay enough respect through the show to Michael Jackson.
I want to say one thing. Like when Mike was out, motherfuckers was always talking that Lionel Richie shit. I was like, Lionel Richie can't hold a candle to Mike.
Yo, man, props to Lionel.
I mean, because Lionel Richie and Thriller was out at the same time.
But in the same sentence. Well, hold on. What about? And my mom will go here and talk about Prince. My mom is a Prince.
Prince is a better argument.
Stay tuned.
But you gotta think about the lane. You gotta think about the role that Prince played and how he did it, man. Like the dude would like he had, you know, whatever. He had like that. He had Purple Rain, the movie. Like he was like a multi-instrumental.
Prince is another
It's
episode.
another one.
Remix live.
Right.
Like he's like so multi-dimensional. Like, that
And
was
the
just
first
another
time you ever
place.
saw Michael Jackson Prince on stage, James Brown was standing between them.
Exactly. And that's what I was saying. It's an influence on both of us.
Bring it on back. Remix live, July 14th. Live nightclub, 7 p.m. Come join the show.
All right.